This is, I believe, Turret Arch. And notice that even up to the right is at least a window, a small one. A local resident on a peak. It's interesting how this arch almost looks like it was constructed. Now there's an inner arch construction there, some of which has collapsed. Notice what looks like the precarious nature of that boulder. There are many photographers around early in the morning, so it's necessary to make sure you're not obstructing their efforts and still enjoying yours. And I just noticed from here a still smaller little window to the left side of Turret Arch. We were just at north window. Of course, there's Turret Arch in the background. And we're now to south window. It's always so surprising to me, if that's the right word, that you can have this incredible resource and in general, so few people as a percentage ever come here. And that even this morning, such a beautiful morning to be here, and most people that are in the park or near the park are still lying in bed. This is a magnificent, pristine in the sense that it stands all by itself, and spectacular in the sense that it's big arch. A mini epiphany that I had a moment ago was that one difference between the unique features of nature and art, for example, a painting in a gallery, is the painting in the gallery you tend to find the central position to stand at, and that's it. Whereas in nature, you keep wandering around looking at it from different angles to see if you can get somewhat different viewpoint or image or impression.
Of course you do the same thing with sculpture.
You wonder if Native Americans would have used that little cave or big cave up there for anything. Were places like this somehow revered? I have seen nowhere in the literature any suggestion that there was a particular affinity for arches or bridges, but they must have been impressed. And a little counterpoint to all this nature. Spending a few hours or days wandering around in our national parks is no different than the broader concept of travel. And that is, I think, the allure of the possibility that each moment there will be something new and interesting that will titillate the brain. I'm walking this, what's called a primitive trail. Doesn't seem terribly primitive to me, but without too much jerkiness, I'll try to give you a little bit of the sensation of what it's like to walk around corners of possibility. There's some people up there who've climbed up to a little niche to get a better view of the north window. I'll focus in so you can see them. I'll climb up there also. You take endless footage because there just seem to be endless views. Okay, from the other side of both these windows, you have a view of both of them. I would have thought something like Devil's Eyes or Bandit's Eyes or something like that would have been a more interesting name. I'm guessing that modern art, for most of us, is somewhat like this, in that we may not understand it, but we get some kind of visceral reaction to it. I think the reactions to nature are somehow more natural to us, but we don't know in that instance any more so than modern art why. Just a small shot of these little ripples from the ancient seabed. What's interesting is notice, though, that there's the left to right horizontal lines, but then there are the little lines that go up and down, just short ones. What was causing those, I wonder? Huh. And these rocks in the middle just imply a nose. Everywhere in the park you'll find this sign. And it's a good sign, particularly when following a trail would mislead people, or if they inadvertently and ignorantly step on the cyanobacteria biological soil crust. On the other hand, it's also an attempt by bureaucrats to social engineer. One of the reasons that people make these trails is because they go where people want to go. Here, I suspect, is the route that photographer took up to this area here, so I will try to follow that. And it's that creative urge of photographers and other artists that make them climb up to these places to get a far more interesting view, such as this one. For a photographer, this one view here is outstanding. No less so for myself.